Ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't going to be playing, the lowest ticket price.
If Caitlin Clark retired tomorrow, the WNBA would backslide faster than a TikTok trend after 48 hours. Take her out of the equation, and those roaring crowds turn into a high school gym vibe. ESPN coverage? Buried under cornhole reruns. Ticket prices? Back to $3, and scalpers are out here begging for spare change. Kathy's acting like this is her master plan, but it's Caitlyn's highlight reel carrying the league. The Fever's game against the Connecticut Sun without Caitlyn still pulled 851,000 viewers.
Price dropped to $3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They must protect.
Ion's biggest audience this season. But that's because her fans are so loyal they're showing up to watch her bench. Meanwhile, the Mystics game without her? 357,000 viewers, a 39% drop from her last active game. That's not a coincidence, that's Clarkonomics. So what's the deal with this resistance? Why are some players and the commissioner acting like Caitlyn's success is an invasion instead of a revolution? It's like they're gatekeeping a party that was half empty before she showed up with the aux cord. The WNBA's been around for decades, and yeah, there are legends. Diana Taurasi could probably dunk on a brick wall and make it say sorry. But Caitlyn's got something different. Cultural velocity. It's that Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, lightning in a Gatorade bottle vibe you can't coach or copy. Her mistakes trend on Twitter. Her nose scratches spark blog posts. Her warm-ups get louder cheers than some teams' tip-offs. That's not just star power, that's a paradigm shift. And instead of bottling that energy, some folks are out here trying to humble her like it's a sorority hazing. Here's the kicker. This isn't just about basketball. Caitlyn's driving a business boom that could be the WNBA's golden era. She's not just filling seats, she's filling bank accounts. The league's revenue is up, with Indianapolis alone raking in $36.5 million thanks to her. TV contracts are getting fatter, sponsors are circling like sharks, and even the security guards are sweating because the crowds are acting like Taylor Swift just showed up to a Chiefs game. But instead of building the Caitlin Clark cinematic universe, think holograms, signature sneakers, maybe a Netflix doc, the league's letting her get clobbered and letting Kathy take bows for her work.
Now, fans that either sold their tickets or whatever, all of a sudden an emphasis is starting to get thrown onto the tickets where people believe she will be playing. And that
it's like giving the Oscar to the producer when the actor carried the whole film. And the fans, they're clocking this nonsense. Social media's buzzing with people calling out the double standards. One ex-post put it perfectly. Caitlin Clark is nearly tripling average WNBA viewership when she plays, and other players are getting jealous of her fame. Another user said, "She's not the top player yet, but Caitlin Clark is revolutionizing women's basketball." The streets are talking, and they're not wrong. Fans aren't just showing up for Caitlin. They're staying for the Fever, buying jerseys, and turning the WNBA into a cultural juggernaut. But when she's out, the numbers don't lie. Ticket prices crash, viewership dips, and the hype takes a hit. It's like the league's running a full-court press on its own progress. So, what's the fix? First, protect Caitlin like she's carrying the nuclear codes. Bubble wrap her between games, hire Secret Service, whatever it takes. She's not just a rookie, she's the main event, the halftime show, and the ad campaign rolled into one. Second, the league needs to lean into this moment. Use Caitlin's spotlight to hype all the players. Angel Reese, Diana Taurasi, the whole squad. Sell more jerseys, lock in bigger TV deals, and turn this into the WNBA's golden age. Stop treating her like an intern who got lucky. She's the CEO of this glow-up. And Cathy Engelbert, maybe take a seat and let Caitlyns Gravity do the talking. Because right now, the WNBA's got a chance to go from niche to mainstream.
I hate the game she got, because she's really talented, especially for being Falangi, She's like the Stephen Curry of WNBA with the threes and stuff. Like, proven fact is, they had a game on June 7th scheduled.
And Caitlyn's the one holding the ball. All right, fam, that's the tea on the Caitlin Clark effect. She's not just breaking records. She's breaking the WNBA's old habits and dragging it into the spotlight. Will the league catch up and ride this wave, or will they keep tripping over their own egos? Drop your thoughts in the comments, do you? This is a full-on cultural earthquake, and Caitlin Clark is the epicenter. Picture this. Ticket prices skyrocketing like they're launched from Cape Canaveral, arenas packed tighter than a Black Friday sale, and viewership numbers so high they're basically moonwalking on ESPN's ratings charts. But then, plot twist, Caitlin goes down with a quad injury, and the whole league feels like it just got posterized by Shaq in his prime. What kind of sorcery is this? Is she LeBron, Steph, and Taylor Swift fused into one human hype machine? We're about to break it all down, roast it up, and figure out why the WNBA is fumbling the biggest slam dunk since MJ's free throw line fadeaway. Ready? Let's ball. Let's set the scene, because this story is straight up cinematic.
You know, it was going to be Angel Reese's team, which plays in Chicago, and then for Caitlin Clark's team, they were supposed to go up there playing Chicago on June 7th. First, the ticket sales were at $76 a ticket. Then after they found out Caitlin Clark's not playing that game, she got injured, sales...
Caitlin Clark, the Iowa sharpshooter who's been draining buckets since she was probably in diapers, storms into the WNBA in 2024 like a comet with a crossover. She's not just playing basketball. She's rewriting the economic playbook, flipping the script, and turning the league into a cultural juggernaut. Think of her as the Elon Musk of the hardwood, disrupting everything, making bank accounts tremble, and leaving haters tweeting into the void. Since she laced up for the Indiana Fever, the WNBA's been on a glow-up so intense it needs sunglasses. Ticket sales? Through the roof? TV ratings? Breaking records like they're made of glass. Merch? Flying off shelves faster than Kanye's Yeezys during a restock. And don't even get me started on the arenas. Gainbridge Fieldhouse is pulling 16,757 fans per game, nearly double the next closest team. That's not a crowd, that's a movement. For context, that's outdrawing 5 NBA teams last season. Yep, the Fever are clowning the Pacers, Hawks, Wizards, Grizzlies, and Hornets like it's a comedy roast at the Apollo. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets nuts. Before Caitlin's injury, the cheapest ticket to see the Fever take on the Washington Mystics was $41. Not bad, right? You're thinking, cool, I'll grab a seat, some nachos, and watch Caitlin drop 30 like it's a casual Tuesday. But then, bam, quad injury hits, and she's been sidelined since April 24th, 2025. Suddenly, those same tickets plummet to $3. $3. You can't even get a Starbucks latte for that! It's like the market crashed harder than a crypto bro's portfolio in 2022.
She's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, it appears.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about Caitlin Clark? Remember last year, she played in the Final Four. Right after that, she went immediately to the WNBA. Draft came, season started, and, didn't miss a beat.
And it's not just the Mystics game. The Fever's matchup against the Chicago Sky on June 7th. Tickets were $86 when Caitlin was in the lineup, hyped as the ultimate Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese showdown. Post-injury announcement, down to $25. That's a 71% drop, folks. Scalpers are out here crying harder than a Knicks fan in the playoffs, wondering how they're gonna pay rent. This is the Caitlin Clark effect in full force, like a tsunami crashing through a kiddie pool. She's not just a player. She's a one-woman economic stimulus package, the kind of star who could make the Federal Reserve raise interest rates just to keep up. Her games in 2024 averaged 178 million viewers, while non-Caitlin games limped along at a measly 394,000. Last year's league average? A sad 301,000. Do the math, she's nearly tripling the WNBA's draw when she steps on the court. And it's not just TV. Jersey sales for the Fever up 1,093%. Freddie Fever, their mascot, is getting 150% more appearance requests. Freddie, the dude in the fuzzy costume, is booking gigs like he's Drake at Coachella. Even when Caitlin's on the bench, sipping Gatorade and icing her quad, arenas are still buzzing like she might just pop out and drain a half-court shot for the vibes. But let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about stats or ticket stubs. Caitlin Clark is a cultural phenomenon, the kind of star who doesn't just play a sport, she redefines it. She's got that Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, lightning in a Gatorade bottle vibe that you can't coach, teach, or copy-paste. Her warm-ups get louder cheers than some teams' tip-offs. Her mistakes trend on Twitter. Her nose scratches spark blog posts titled, "Is Caitlin Clark Injured? A Deep Dive." That's not just star power, that's a paradigm shift. She's not just filling seats, She's filling bank accounts, turning casual fans into diehards, and making the WNBA a must-watch event for the first time in forever. Indianapolis alone raked in $36, $5 million thanks to her, and that's just the tip of the economic iceberg. So, you'd think the WNBA would be rolling out the red carpet for Caitlyn, right? Like, here's our golden goose. Let's protect her like she's the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party.
And all of a sudden, she got a little rest and comes back, gets a little banged up. I heard you talking about it earlier, and it's going to be fascinating to me, Ricky. I've been to Fever games, and the one thing you notice, and this is more so than even when...
Nope. Instead, we've got a spicy mix of veteran players throwing shade, refs letting her get clobbered like she's in a cage match, and, get this, the WNBA commissioner acting like she's the mastermind behind this whole boom. Oh, we're diving into this drama because it's juicier than a tabloid cover and messier than a reality TV reunion. Let's break it down, piece by piece, and serve. First up, the veterans. Look, I get it. Nobody likes the new kid stealing the spotlight. It's like when a new co-worker shows up, nails every project, and suddenly the boss is calling them the future of the company. But some WNBA players are acting like Caitlyn rolled into the league, snatched their endorsement deals, ate their lunch, and parked in their reserve spot. The vibe? Passive-aggressive Instagram stories, side-eye in press conferences, and quotes about rookies needing to earn it. Earn what, exactly? The right to be the reason your game's on ESPN instead of a regional cable channel that also airs lawnmower races. Caitlyn's not out here demanding a crown or a throne. She's just launching logo threes like her shot chart is GPS-powered, averaging 19 points, 9. 3 assists, and 6 rebounds in just 4 games this season. Her games are pulling 5 million viewers when she's getting triple-teamed at half court. And yet some vets are out here acting like she's the problem. Let's be clear, Caitlyn's not your competition. She's your elevator. She's lifting the whole league. Ticket sales, TV deals, merch, sponsorships, all of it. The WNBA's been around for decades, and there are legends who paved the way. Diana Taurasi could probably dunk on a brick wall and make it say, sorry. Lisa Leslie was a force. Cheryl Swoops was a game changer.
Caitlyn Clark.
Amazing. A beast. She is the truth. She's the truth, and she was a rookie. Knock down the three-pointer, get to the rim.
But Caitlyn's arrival is like upgrading from a flip phone to an iPhone 16. She's bringing new eyes, new money, and new energy. So why are some players acting like she's here to steal their shine? Instead of catching the ride to the penthouse, they're out here trying to cut the elevator cables with their salty comments and subtle shade. One ex-post summed it up. Caitlyn Clark is nearly tripling average WNBA viewership when she plays, and other players are getting jealous of her fame. Jealousy's a bad look, y'all, especially when the whole league's eating because of her. And then there's the physicality, because this is a whole other level of chaos. Caitlyn's out here drawing more fouls than a piñata at a kid's birthday party, and the refs are just standing there like, play on! It's like they're auditioning for Mad Max Fury Court. She's getting hip-checked, elbowed, and tackled like she wandered into an NFL scrimmage or a Black Friday sale with a full cart. In her 4 games this season, she's been fouled 22 times, more than any other rookie. And that's just the ones the refs actually call. Social media's blowing up with clips of her getting clobbered, with fans screaming, "Where's the whistle?" One ex-user posted, "Caitlyn Clark's getting more contact than a linebacker, and the refs are acting like it's a pillow fight." Protect the investment, people. This isn't just about Caitlyn's stat line. It's about the fact that she's the reason casual fans are debating zone defense on TikTok instead of scrolling past the WNBA entirely. Think about it. Caitlyn's the league's LeBron, Serena, and Steph Curry rolled into one. She's the kind of star who can turn a random Tuesday night game into a cultural event. But instead of bubble wrapping her between games or hiring Secret Service to guard her like she's carrying the nuclear codes, the league's letting her dodge flying elbows like she's in a dodgeball tournament. It's not just bad optics, it's bad business. If Caitlyn goes down for longer than a couple of weeks, the WNBA's not just losing a player, they're losing their golden ticket, their pot of gold, their entire vibe. And trust me, nobody's tuning in to watch a league that's limping along like a high school reunion at a silent disco. Now let's talk about the real villain in this saga, WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. Oh, Cathy. This woman is strutting around like she personally invented Caitlyn Clark in a lab with a vision board, a PowerPoint titled How I Saved the WNBA, and a Pinterest board of strategic growth initiatives. Kathy, please. You didn't drop 40 points in the Final Four against South Carolina. You didn't set college viewership records, sell out arenas, or make dudes who only watch the Super Bowl suddenly care about a dribble handoff. Caitlyn did that. But Kathy's out here giving speeches, writing articles, and dropping buzzwords like she's Steve Jobs unveiling the iPhone. In her latest piece, written by Kathy, about Kathy for Kathy, she mentions Caitlyn's name maybe twice, while patting herself on the back for the league's boom. Angel Reese gets a nod, Cameron Brink gets a shout out, but Caitlyn,
she can get to the free throw line. She's crafty.
Yeah, very crafty.
Crafty. So sometimes she look like she's coming off for a three-point shot and she backdoors you for a layup. She gets her teammates involved. She can pass. She can shoot. Man, she is
barely a footnote. It's like writing a history of the moon landing and saying, yeah, Neil Armstrong was there, but let's talk about my clipboard skills. Let's break down Kathy's delusion, because it's wilder than a reality TV plot twist. In her article, she lays out her 3 pillars for the WNBA's success. Player-first strategy, blah blah blah, corporate jargon, blah blah blah, growth initiatives. Sure, Kathy, because the nation definitely showed up out of no
season versus the seasons past.
Our jersey sales were up 1,193%. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and we're thrilled about it. But it brought visibility to the whole team of the Fever and to the
It's May 17th, 2025, and the Chicago Sky are getting absolutely smoked by the Indiana Fever, 93-58. That's not a scoreline, that's a cry for help. And in the middle of this basketball bloodbath, Angel Reese, the Sky's star forward, is out here accusing Fever fans of hurling racial slurs, monkey noises, you name it. Bold move, right? Except, plot twist, the WNBA investigates, combs through fan interviews, audio, video, probably even the concession stand receipts, and comes back with a big fat, we found nothing. Nada. Zilch. Zero evidence to back up Reese's claims. Now, I'm not saying she's lying, but when you throw around accusations like that with no receipts, it's like tweeting, I just saw Bigfoot, and then posting a blurry photo of your cousin in a fuzzy sweater. You're gonna catch some heat. Sis and catch heat she did. Indiana's own Senator Jim Banks, yes, a whole US senator, jumped into the fray, demanding Reese and the WNBA apologize to Fever fans for dragging their name through the mud. He's out here like, you called our fans racists, and for what? Where's the proof? Where's the apology? Meanwhile, posts on X are lighting her up, with folks like R. Clay Travis calling her out for blatantly lying, and others straight up labeling her a liar who owes Indiana an apology. Y'all, this is messier than a reality TV reunion special, and we're just getting started. Now let's talk about the court, because that's where things get really tragic. Angel Reese, the same woman who broke WNBA records for rebounds, shout out to her for snagging 500 points and 500 boards faster than anyone ever, is out here playing like she's allergic to the rim. Against the Phoenix Mercury on May 27th, she misses 7 out of 10 layups. 7. That's not an off night. That's a full-on basketball identity crisis. We're talking point-blank shots, layups so easy a toddler with a Fisher-Price hoop could sink them, and she's out here bricking like she's building a patio.
WNBA, but if we just want to keep it in Indiana, we look at ticket sales sold out every night, over 17,000 fans in our games at home. When Caitlyn announced that she was coming out into the draft on a Thursday afternoon, from that time to Sunday night, we had over 6,000 phone calls, people wanting to buy.
It's like watching someone try to parallel park in an empty lot and still hit the curb. And the Chicago Sky, they score 9 points in the second quarter. 9. I've seen group texts with more points than that. Here's the kicker. The Sky's coaching staff is basically begging her to stop shooting. They're like, Angel, sweetie, just set screens, be a screener. We love you, but please, for the love of hoops, don't touch the ball in the paint. Nah. When your team is telling you to stick to setting picks, that's code for, we trust you to stand still and look tall, but that's it. It's like being asked to bring napkins to a potluck because nobody trusts your cooking. And yet, Reese is out there strutting like she just dropped a 40-point triple-double, winking at the crowd, flipping her hair like she's in a L'Oreal ad, all while the scoreboard is screaming, Sis, the rim is not your friend. Let's be real for a second. Angel Reese is a star. She's got the charisma, the social media clout, the endorsement deals. She's the Bayou Barbie for crying out loud. She's got more Instagram followers than some NBA players, and she's been front and center in WNBA promos like she's the second coming of Lisa Leslie. But here's the problem. The hype train is moving faster than her jump shot. She's getting superstar treatment for what? Missing layups like it's her day job? Going 0 for 8 from the field and 33% from the free throw line in a game where she scored 2 points? That's not a stat line. That's a cry for an intervention. It's like giving an Oscar to someone who showed up to the audition but forgot their lines. And don't get me started on the Caitlin Clark drama. Y'all, this rivalry is the gift that keeps on giving. It started back in college when Reese's LSU Tigers beat Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes in the 2023 NCAA title game, and the shade has been flying ever since. On May 17th, Clark gets called for a flagrant 1 foul on Reese, knocks her down after an offensive rebound, and Reese has to be restrained. The internet loses its mind, and suddenly it's not just basketball. It's a cultural lightning rod. Some folks are screaming racism, others are screaming jealousy, and Reese is out here saying, "They're watching me too." Yeah, Angel, they're watching. Watching you miss layups like you're auditioning for a blooper reel on Shaqtin' a Fool.
Season tickets. But even something as simple as our terrific mascot, Freddie Fever, his appearance requests went up 150% this season. So you talk about the Fever, the team, which is what we've been working on.
Now let's talk about the X posts, because the streets are talking. One user called her the worst basketball player ever, which, ouch, that's harsh. But when you're missing 7 layups in a pro game, it's not exactly MVP material. Another user's like, she's feeding into lies about racism and her coach didn't even hear anything. And then there's a Clay Travis, who's basically writing her basketball obituary, saying she's out here lying about fans and tanking her own career. The sentiment on X is split. Some folks are defending her, saying she faces real hate and racism that needs to stop, while others are like, girl, stop playing the victim and start making shots.
Me correctly, none other than Kathy Engelbert is singing a different tune this season about Caitlin Clark. Now we know last year she was talking about all of the other rookies being included in this, making a difference, being able to help contribute to the Big Bang of the WNBA.